Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for some? Open the door. Who's ready for some? Come on, bitch. Get in there. Get in your hole. Who's ready for some? Who's ready for some? Boom, baby, boom. Right. And shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host of the Mostest Mark Saint. This is Print an Hour down here at the Planocopa here in lovely. It's my job to do some posters in an hour. And I got them ready. I'm going to get them cut. We're going to get this done like what? You already know. But first, we're going to talk about how you have no clue who you're talking to. Okay, I have this thing. It's a statement. You don't know me, son. Right? We've all said it before. You don't know me, son. Right? You don't know me, son. I'm trying to get this thing to balance. Okay, perfect. You don't know me, son, and you don't know them. And you won't know them till you said no to them. Imagine that. I'm going to say it again. You don't know them till you said no to them. And most of us, maybe we don't know how to say no, right? Maybe we're afraid to say no. Maybe we're afraid to lose the person when we say no. But guess what? They weren't your friend or they were really your foe the whole time. You already know. The reason is because we don't get to see the true you till we said the word no. And that's a big thing that most people can't handle. They can't handle a no. You know, they've manipulated, they've worked their feminine wiles, maybe they've worked their masculine traits to get a certain feeling going from that certain person. And then all of a sudden, the manipulation stops the moment you stop getting manipulated. And the reason I'm having this conversation is because last night, weird events were happening. Had our forest photo shoot. Finally, after 2 years, I got the forest photo shoot. I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. But also what's taking place is I got to learn the temper of this girl. And I was just like, okay, you know, you're beautiful. You know, that's no doubt about it. But I think that you know it. Actually, I know that you know it. And part of knowing it means that what you're going to do is you're probably going to use that as a tool to get power from men or attention from men or just hear men hear the sob story. You know, my father left my mother. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. Right. You know, everybody's got a story to tell, but not everybody's telling the real story. See, it turns out that not only was this girl manipulating, but she also had an obvious anger, temper problem. I saw her maybe cry 6-7 times in the short time that was lived in front of my friends or whatever it is. I realized, and I said this to her, you don't know anybody. Like I've been saying about faceless porn, you don't know anybody. You think you know people, you don't know shit about them till you have fucked or fought them. That's one of my old sayings, but it's so fucking true. You don't know shit about somebody till you have fucked and fought them, and that is the God's honest truth. You might think that you know someone, you know the side of them that they want to show you, right? It's not a real deal, Holyfield. No, we're not going to get real in the field. All right? No, we're going to pretend. Yep. We're going to pretend that we know someone. This is why it takes time to get to know someone, is because you give it enough time to see them on the other side of the mask, the other side of getting along, the frustration when things don't go their way. Do they start yelling at the kids? You know, do they get on cocaine? You know, Like, it's the things you don't want people to see, but you can hide, right? You want to hide in Coldplay concerts, hugging up on your girl. It's Coldplay. You're rubbing your dick on her ass. And then all of a sudden, you're on blast. They put the whole thing on blast. And you're on the Megatron, stunting on the Megatron. You know what I'm saying, bro? And that's what ends up happening. We hide so many facts about our lives, especially with social media, man. We don't want nobody to actually see what is happening. No, we'd rather pretend, right? Live the lie with me. I think I was watching something and the guy was talking about how you can't lie when you're being trans. You can't expect other people. Oh shit, that didn't go right. You can't expect other people to live the lie like you do. Like, you want me to believe that you're not a woman, that you're a man, but I don't live a lie, so, I honestly don't know you, son. Right? And that's what's happening. We all act like we know someone just because we slept with them. It's here to tell you. That's not the truth. Far from it. And over here at Saints Addiction, print an hour, baby. Not only are we doing posters in an hour, but we're keeping it real every hour, right? Like, you got to keep it real with yourself. There's so many things out there where you're going to be like, oh, I felt a certain type of way, I saw it a different way. I thought I knew them as I watched the lesbians, all the lesbians getting on a breakup on my feed. They're my friends, but, I know one of them really, but they barely knew each other, bro. Let me get my fucking razor here. It's the truth of the matter, bro. Like, you think you know someone, so you have to fuck or fight them. And that's why I'm having this conversation this morning is, just like David Goggins likes to say, you don't know me, son. Right? You don't know me, son. Right? Well, you don't know them either. I'm here to tell you, you don't know them either. You think you know them, but you only know the side that they're willing to show. Motherfucker! I'm pressing down. Maybe I just want that heavier board. This some shit. Unless you got some weight behind it. Unless you got some mice forza on it. Which I should have did before we began. Let's put that mice forza as much as I can. Yep. And that's one of those things that we do. We think that we have a clue. Like I was saying about faceless porn, there's no way you have an idea what people are doing on the dark, bro. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. And this girl's going on talking about how she used to lead the sex parties and let men use her for all sorts of things, but she's been working on herself. Things have changed. I've been working on myself, but there's a difference between people that do the work, right? The actual work, and people say they're under construction, right? I could put a sign out, and trust me, we make signs here. I could put a sign out that says, hey, coming soon. Doesn't mean it's there. That's the fun part, right? Doesn't mean it's actually there. Coming soon, maybe, but maybe baby. There is no maybe baby. There is a baby or there is no baby, right? There's no in between. It's kind of like being kind of pregnant, You're either pregnant or you're not. Pretty simple stuff. We all get it. But a lot of us like to live in girl math and disillusionment, right? And dysphoria. Believe I'm not trans, or believe I'm not mean, or I want you to believe that I don't have any narcissistic tendencies. And that's what I've been seeing, and I've been saying, come on, man, get with the program, computer, phone, whatever the fuck you're on. And that's when you got to see that that's your real reality. You know, a lot of us, we don't want people to see the other side of us because we know they'll run and hide. They know that we're a pervert. They know that we're a weirdo, that we're not as much makeup when we're in the bed as then when we're on the gram. I know you know what I'm talking about, fam. That's all of us, bro. That's all of us trying to hide what we got inside when it's the most magical thing about us, man. You know, that's the most magical thing about human beings is that we're perfectly imperfect, right? Like, that's what you really want to know is that, you know, can you handle the person's imperfection, warts and all, not the shiny parts, because everybody can do the shine. Anybody could, what did they used to call spit shine, right? Or show up in their Sunday best, right? You want to be in your Sunday best. They called it when I was a kid. You know, you get on your Sunday best, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm always this way. On a Sunday, become Saturday, you're over drinking, you're manipulating. You know what I mean? All these things seem to take place, and that's why we're having this conversation this morning. Is because I really didn't know this chick. Finger banging in the forest. Shit, bro, you can go from cream pies to goodbyes faster than the lies. Most people don't want to hear that. Most people would rather live the lie and have no real fruit to it, you know? But just the belief or having you believe in their lie. Again, like the trans thing or why are these things killing me right now? Or like the trans lie where you're going to get somebody to believe in your lie just as deep as you believe in your lie, which happens almost all the time, right? Just believe me. Believe me like I believe in me. Without the proof that you've seen this person not lose their temper, right? Handle situations. That's what women really want to see from men. That you can handle a situation without tripping. I think I felt. Yeah, my cut lines are a little messed up, but that's what it is. It's us having real conversations with real human beings and finding out what they're really made out of. You know, I mean, it's easy when everything's so shiny and she's so pretty and she looks so happy and we compare our lives to people that are literally lying to our faces. That's why face lies. It's not a book. It's a book full of lies, man. It's a book full of situations where we hope people believe that, you know, we're flawless or nothing is wrong or there's nothing to see here, man. I don't have hemorrhoids. I don't do steroids. I haven't done lip injections. Like, that's not true. You know, I'm still me. I'm still a human being, you know, and the whole time disguising what we really got inside, right? Like, you know, it's hard pressed to say, yeah, I'm getting up every morning. There are women that would be like, yeah, I just jogged, or men too, and splash water on their face and be like, man, I just jogged a bunch of miles just to prove to you, or show proof, social proof, I guess is what we've been calling it, proving socially to people that we have things that we don't have. If you don't believe me, look at the signaling that's happening, right? When you're out in the world, how many of us go out there and flex money we don't have? I'll wait. Then again, I won't wait. Life won't wait, bro. It's all a lie. If you're bullshitting inside, see, closer than an hour. If you're bullshitting people on the inside, or you're bullshitting yourself, really, you know, then you're living the lie. You're looking for people, confederates, if you will, people like you, or want to be similar to you. This is all trash, too. Similar to you, same fact, kind of same idea. Like you don't wipe your ass. Like you don't blow your nose. Like you don't have freckles on your butt. But we'll look at people like porn stars who bleach their buttholes. We'll look at fucking Hollywood stars and think that that's the life that we want to live. It looks so amazing having everyone's attention on you, right? But just like your boy Ben Affleck said the other day, he said, you want to be rich, right? Everybody wants to be rich and famous. He says, be rich, don't be famous. And I thought that was like the realest shit he's ever spit, because you could see it wear on him, you know? You could see him saying, like, you don't know what people think of you. You know, they're hollering at your name. You're at the movie premiere. You think they love you, and they pull a gun on you. Ask your boy John Lennon, bro. He thought it was a fan, man. He's like, oh, this guy's a fan. He's harmless. He's just a fan with a gun in his hand, man. Like, you don't know them, son. You keep acting like you do, but I got news for you. You don't know them, even though you might think that you do, right? The truth of it is, you don't. And unfortunately, that's the world that we live in, or it's always been that way, where people would like to deceive most of the days. They would like to convince you that they got it all together, that they're perfect, but they're 30 unmarried with no kids, and you're going like, wait, what's going on here? You know, is it the dogs? Are the dogs getting all the attention? And that's why I posted this morning. I was literally holding a little 2-kilo dog in my hand, man. And I was just like, wow, bro, I've come pretty far. Please don't ask me to hold your purse, you know? Like the purse holding guy, like you're just a placeholder. You're not the star of the story. They are. And you're just kind of there. I talked about it with my friend the other day, because the girl would go showing off the whole, hey, I'm on vacation. And then she goes like around the bed where the big black guy sitting there, really big guy. He's like, he was like, don't you be blowing over me? Posters in an hour, baby. He's like, don't you be casting over me? You know, like trying to pan the camera. You better show who paid for this trip. We're all about it. We're all about the, oh, hey, I'm flexing. And then the whole time, they're just not being honest. And they're showing you what they want you to see, right? I want you to see me flexing, but I don't want you to see how I flexed. I don't want you to see the steroid marks on my butt, right? How many are like that? How many people are literally like that, where when it comes to the bank accounts, like, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? What's your credit score like? Things you can't really deny every day, you know what I mean? But we don't want to do that. That would expose our truth, the truth that should be told, or the one that we're hiding from, one or the other. And I know you know what I'm talking about. God damn, my nose. Itchy! 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 Oh my God. Right? Let's not show it coming out of my nose. Are the things that come out of my mouth in anger. Basically, the monkeys that fly out of my ass. No, don't see that. I don't want you seeing that. You know what I'm saying? This is horseshit. This is like #1 bullshit. This cutter, I can't deal with this thing. It's cool with the long, but I don't think it's worth the shit. It's fucking up my cuts. Ugh. Fucking up my allergies too, man. get back to it, shall we? There you go. All my cuts suck. Must suck to suck, right? Has anybody ever heard that? Must suck to suck. Must suck to suck. Right. Well, it sucks if you're lying, right? If you got everybody convinced that you don't lie, or your shit don't stink, or you don't sneeze, or, you know, you've never made any mistakes, then you're dealing with a fucking psychopath. You're dealing with a fucking liar, a narcissist. People that will sit there, and as long as you hear their tears and listen to their bullshit, hell, they'll even let you finger bang them in the forest. But that's not who they really are, right? You don't know them till you fuck them. Fuck you! Till you seen them frustrated. Right? I hate this right now. This is the number one bullshit. I think I fucked it up with my hash marks. And now I'm just gauging it. I should have done the longitudinals first. But oh god, there's a fuck up in this. There's even a fuck up on this side. You can run, but you can't hide. And that's just all of us, man. Oh wow, you're a piece of shit. This whole thing's a piece of shit. It's not even cutting through all the way. You know? All the days, all the lies, all the bullshit that we tell other people, you know, it's all a cover-up, man. That's why I said, honestly flawed, because it's the truth. That's the addiction, bro. I had to keep it real. I just had to, for my own sobriety, to not go insane, for my own peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that I could rely on my mind to throw back real ideas instead of fake feelings. That's what I was saying. You know, true faith is having bravery and belief without seeing. And that's why you have to see with your own eyes what people are made out of. You have to let the universe create the situations so you can see what kind of person you're dealing with. And a lot of us, we haven't spent enough time with that person to understand them and what they're really made out of. What is this? This is horrible cut job by your boy Marquis Saint. This is like the worst I've done ever. Come on, man. Stop being a fag. Stop being a fag. And I used to have my ex be like, don't use that word. And I'm like, but it's a word. Yeah, but you're not supposed to use it. And I was like, retard's a word. She wanted me to be more uncouth, right? Less of a, what'd she call me, a fuckboy? And more of a polished gentleman. And I wanted her to be less of a single mom and more of my wife. Here we are. You know, I'm closer to an hour. So you can wave me, trade me, do whatever the fuck you want with me, right? But the truth will always set you free. You know, when you're over there trying to be whatever you're trying to be, lying to whoever you're lying to, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they believe in your bullshit. You know, you got your parents convinced that you're spending the night at your friend's house. Meanwhile, you're going out drinking. What I was always told as a kid is Whatever you do in the dark comes out in the light. And I really believe that. Like, with all my heart. Like, I really believe that. Like, you can try to hide. You can run, but you can't hide, you know? And that's what we all are trying to do. We're trying to run away from our loneliness or run away from the bullshit. This is horrible cuts, by the way. You know, don't see me bleed. You know, don't see my bank account. Don't see the real me. I want you to see me with my fake hair extensions. And I want you to believe that I'm always happy. Or I want you just to only see what I want you to see. Don't look here, folks. Don't look at the other hand. The sleight of hand. The sleight of lies that we all tell. Because you really don't know. You're over there trying to trust a hoe. And the whole time, their job is to convince you to give them more of your meat, your money, energy, and attention and time. And you're only like, how'd that all happen? Where did it all go by? And that's what it is. The one guy was sitting there complaining about his young Filipino wife who left him. And he's getting on social media. And the lady said, you know what it is, bro? You know what it is when you're 50, 60 years old and you're trying to steal some girl's beauty and youth. Of course you're going to have to pay for their parents. Of course you're going to have to pay the alimony and the disrespect. There's a pretty tax. You're paying for that extra. Some people you're paying for their extra abuse, right? Some people you're just paying for their attention. That seems to be the most of us, right? We want them to pay attention to us or see us for who we really are when we never show who we really are, right? Like, nobody's just showing their warts and all. They want you to believe that they got it all. They want you to believe that, oh, I'm so fucking happy without my ex. You know? And then her ex goes, yeah, I'm not with that cokehead anymore. I've been sober. I've been working out. And yeah, I saw her with her girlfriend and drama. Like, these are people that used to love each other. This is why I don't have any relationships as a kid, because I watched my own parents do the same thing. My own parents. Not your parents. My parents do the same motherfucking thing. And that's, you know, talk shit, get hit. That's what it is. Talk shit, get hit. But no, in all honesty, that's what we've been doing as people, is we want to be convincing them and putting on airs that the emperor is not naked, you know? The emperor has no clothes. But if you believe it, if you just go around with it, and you just kind of nod your head, you're going to be like a kid that tells the truth, even if it's inconvenient, even if it makes everybody laugh, even if it's uncomfortable. The uncomfortable truth is better than a pretty lie. And that's the truth of it, bro. Like, you can keep rubbing, what they used to say, putting lipstick on a hog. You know, you can keep putting lipstick on that hog, but it's still a hog. As much lipstick as you want to put on it, you know, you're still going to have real fucking conversations with yourself or your spouse or people in your life and be like, is that what it is? Is that what I am to you, for you? You know, and some people, they don't want to ask the question. They're like, oh, he's married? Well, I'm just going to go to the Coldplay concert. Women do it too. It's like you're reinforcing that behavior. What the fuck is wrong with this thing, bro? What is wrong with this thing? I'm cutting into the metal and shit. This is actual part of the thing. It's actually part of it. It's like a metal piece. But how many of us are like that, you know? Where we literally rather believe a beautiful lie, right, than an ugly truth. And that's what it is, bro. You're going to convince yourself that, sure, the video games aren't taking up all my time. The truth of the matter is, you're just giving up your time to electric impulses, and it's just making your most valuable asset go by. Your motherfucking truth, baby. And if you want to live a lie, which most people do, they just want to live a lie, and they're supposed to live a little. But what they do is they rather have the feeling or the perception of healing than actually healing. Like, healing takes place in those moments where you're not at your prettiest. When the old version of you would have probably like kept yelling at your kids, you know, lost your temper too many times, probably should stop drinking, that kind of shit. Spend more time with your kids. Live a life, a blessed life. They deserve it. You know what I mean? But we'll also be on the thing where we're like, hey, can you watch my kids so I can go show up to an event and pretend like I ain't got kids? You know what I mean? Moms are out there in the club wishing they didn't have kids. I just want to be free, you know? And it's like, who doesn't? Who doesn't want to be financially free? Who doesn't want to have no animosity? Who doesn't want to be away from the bullshit, you know? These are horrible. This is fucking up my show, too. I'm trying to have a straight conversation, and it's just all over the place, you know? But it's got to be done. Got to step it up. And yes, my nose is still running. I keep it real on my show. People are like, I don't like you spitting. Bro, I spit. I blow my nose. I shit. You know, I'm as human as you. It's just like how real I can be to myself and how comfortable I can be in my own skin and for the win, you know? Not for the convince. I'm not trying to convince people. I was watching a special on J. Edgar Hoover. Your boy Leonardo DiCaprio was playing that character. And the whole time he was a puff. He had a whole man that he was in love with, right? He didn't even have a wife. They had a fucking love affair. You know? And the whole time he's going to like, I don't know, what's the horse outings and going to the gay clubs, and his mom's like, I'd rather have a dead son than a gay son. Woo, that was a shot fired, wasn't it? And he would wear his mother's clothes, but the whole time the most powerful man in America was J. Edgar Hoover, because he had all of the wiretaps. Let's see, bitch, stop moving. The wiretaps, all the embarrassing photos, all the secrets, all the bullshit. Meanwhile, his biggest secret was that he was gay. You know? And the whole time he's busting on gay people while he's gay. I think I was watching one thing where the guy, I think it was like a senator that was cracking down on gay people. He would make arrests, be on TV about it. Your boy Donald Trump's old attorney was gay too. Cohen. What's his name? Cohen. Anybody? What's Cohen's last name? That is his last name. Who was it? Not David Cohen. Not David Cohen. What was his name? Roger Cohen. Old Donald Trump thing. And then he's sending him fake fucking Rolexes or fake diamond. What do you call this when you put on your hand? You know? Cufflinks. Those aren't real. They're fake. You know? And that he abandoned his boy while he had AIDS. You know? And he was supposed to put his lover in the place, but homeboy was sick, so he kicked him out anyways. He's like, I want you to let him stay here as a favor to me. He kicked his boy out so fast. You can see it. You know? And now he's trying to hide Epstein files. He went from letting everybody else know, you know, it's about the truth, true social. And then there's things that people just don't want to be found out. They don't want people to know that they're rich and horny, or that they've lied under oath, or what else do people do? Or that they're cheating on their wife at a Coldplay concert, or, you know, or that they're sleeping with a married man. You're embarrassed. Shit. Why don't you say, I can't get a man? That's what you should say. Not my own man. I'm a home wrecker. I'd rather sleep with someone else's husband than to retain my own. And we reinforce those behaviors. You can see it all you want, you know. That's a reinforced behavior where you're like, I don't have my own, so let me date my coworkers. Let me date my work wife. Let me fake the funk on a nasty dunk. And this is what it is. It's people being fake. They're faking their healed. They're faking their pain. They're going around making sure that you believe that they're not insane, or that they're not the wrong person, or they're not this type of person that they pretend to be. And it's simply false, man. That's living in a fake reality. That's why I don't do it, man. I'm just like, because then I have fake results. Then it's not really me. I'm with the fake version of them, and not the one that really needs to show up time and time again. And that's all we're doing. You know, it's almost like social proofing. You know, you're like, oh, he has kids. Well, then he can give me kids. Or he has a wife. Well, then maybe he might marry me. Instead of saying, this train's already full, you know, like he's got all his tickets punched. There's no room for me. We try to squeeze in. We rather have the jealous leftovers than the real meal. And that's all it is. It's a 3-piece and a soda. It's fried food that made you feel full, but it didn't fulfill you, right? It's like a snack when you needed a real meal, right? It's like steroids when you really just need to be yourself. I don't want to be myself. They would never love me then. I can't lose the real version of me, right? No, ma'am, no, sir. You know, we can't be doing things like that, right? When I watched J. Edgar Hoover last night, yeah, more snot coming out my face, more of it getting on my hands since I've been a kid. You know, not only was he gay, but he wanted people to believe. He was all embarrassed in front of everyone, saying that he had never done an arrest before. And then when he wrote his memoirs, he omitted the fact that he really didn't make any arrests by hand. Yeah, he wants you to believe that he can't. That's not what happened. You know what I mean? That's not what happens at all. We rewrite history. History is written by the winners. So you can conceive, oh, this is how that happened. This is how this happened, right? Like under our own belief. Instead of doing our own research, you know, popularity leads. If it bleeds, it leads. And that's what we do. We want it to be sensationalized. We want just the belief of success, not the actual success. I don't want you to see the receipts. As we say in the streets, I got receipts, you know? Don't look at my receipts. Don't look at my realities, you know? I'd rather you believe that I got my shit together than you to actually see my shit. And I think that's all it is, you know? That's really what we're talking about right now is, you know, people playing the deception game constantly. And yeah, that's what we do. It's a deception game. See, this thing's all the way off. This is driving fucking nuts. This next time, I'm doing the sides first. This is fucking crazy. Mind your business, lady. Yeah. But, you know, it's easier to hide from ourselves and our dysregulation than to regulate and keep it real with ourselves and say, hey, you know, this is really what's happening in my life. You know, then I can get some real help. But if you're misdiagnosed, or maybe you just want people to believe your diagnosis, right? They want you to believe in their, you know, inabilities or people do that. You know how many Ponzi schemes have been through the thing? The guy, I think, what the fuck did dude do? He did, the dude do, you know what he did, dude? He sold the metal Or the metal rights to, not once, but twice. This sucks. The worst cut job I've ever done. Hands down. It was the worst cut job I've ever done. This thing just didn't want to cooperate. You know? Yeah. This thing just didn't want to. It just kept moving and grooving and doing some bullshit. So, yeah. We can bullshit ourselves all we want. What do they say? Shit in the hand and piss in the other. But the truth will always come out in the light, bro. In the end, whether you want people to see it or not, right? You know, I don't want people to see me weak. I don't want them to see me lonely, right? No. Don't look here. There's nothing to see here, folks. You know? My inability to procreate, right? That I made it to 45 without getting married, you know? That I bounce from couch to couch and I'm a bit of a vagabond or a fuckboy or whatever else they want to call me. Right. My buddy said the difference between a playboy and a fuckboy is just a whole lot of money. And I was like, ain't that the motherfucking truth? So, the lies that we live or the truth that we tell will drastically change the way we handle real adversity. Get the fuck out of here. Real adversity, real conflict. You don't know them till you've seen them handle that. Handle a real conflict situation. Handle their frustration. Not lose their temper. Not give up. And then you got yourself a real man and a real woman. You know? That's what it's all about. You know? More snot. Oh, man. I want to finish these. The light's starting to come in. I have more posters to do. But this time I'm going to go across than above because it's fucking me up. Without guidelines. Without guidelines in our lives, right? We need those guidelines, baby. You know, without these, we're just guesstimating. We're poking and hoping that people don't see us poking. You know, hoping that people don't see the other side of us, because then we give them the ability to judge us and give them ammunition against us. And nobody wants that. Ain't nobody got time for that, as they say. We don't want people to really see, you know. We just want people to really believe. It's almost like some of these mega church pastors, the Joel Osteens or whatever else it's about, you know, asking money. Why is this not? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is this bullshit I'm fucking talking about. Ah! You know, I cut the thing and then it wants to not get cut. You know what I mean? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. What is it fucking doing? Bro, you were cut and now you're acting like there's no cut line here. Like I didn't already do this a couple times with the cut line. Fucking bullshit. Can't right now. This can't even, as they say. I can't with you, is what they would say. You know, I can't with you. Sometimes you just can't win, you know? Can't win for trying. And that's what this is. This is this conversation where people will leave you, right? People will murder you if things don't go right. You know, these could be your fucking lovers, bro. And you're just like, how did that happen? How did J. Edgar Hoover get in a fist fight with his boyfriend? You know? And why is he wearing his mother's clothes? Yeah, you know. And he loved his mom, but was living a lie the whole time. This is just crap. This thing's all number one bullshit. It's just cutting the side of my knife. Is just cut. See, it didn't even cut again. Fuck. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, get off. Get off. Whatever. I'm over it. These posters will piss me off. For the last time. For the last time. But maybe it's not your last time. Maybe you just constantly gonna always make time for fuck boys. Maybe that's your rhythm. That's what I'm saying. You don't really know them. Maybe that's their MO, is to wear some Daisy Dukes and turn boys on and pretend you're into them. And the whole time, ready to go out to dinner with somebody else, you know? You know, they have appointments, you know, situations. And that's all this is just, you know, real life situations, that is, where we have to live in our own reality, right? And stop pretending to be something that we're not. A lot of people say fake it till you make it. Well, they're not making anything. They're just faking it. If you're making it, you won't have to fake it. You're actually doing it. And that's the prize. You know, the prize is to be alive and actually experience life with your own eyes. You know, once you realize just how powerful you are, you would never do something synthetic again. You would never fake the funk on a nasty dunk, because you'd rather feel the real deal, Holyfield, than to live in a lie that isn't real. And you know the deal. See, look, it's still doing it. I think I need a new razor. Yeah. This thing's driving me nuts. I need a new razor. But, yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Has anybody ever snapped these off before? I think this is how it's done. Yeah, there we go. Give me a new piece. This old piece worn out. But that's what we want to do. We want to hold our embarrassment, because, you know, it's embarrassing. And embarrassment's a real thing. I've been learning, you know, like when people, you'll get an actual feeling of like, oh shit, this is negative, and there's cortisol levels in my system, and I don't feel good, and, you know, all that kind of shit. You know, nobody wants to be embarrassed. All right? They only want to have the appearance. It's like being on church on Sunday. Everybody's at church praising the Lord and then honking at each other in the parking lot, arguing afterwards. Am I lying? No, of course not. But that's what's happening. Oh, perfect. That don't come out. Posters in an hour, baby. You know? Posters in an hour. But these things have to be explained, you know? That you really need to... You need adversity in your life, really. That's why people don't have any conflict resolution. These days, as soon as the first headache comes, they're running like, oh no, it's too hard at work. What are we going to do? And then you really know who your friends are and who aren't your friends, right? They'll use you. Oh man, you're so important to me. And then it's like, hey, I need your help. Can you help me move? You want to test loyalty. You want to test friendships. Go right ahead. See if your friends are going to stick around when you're dead, when you're not around. You know, do they respect and honor your name? Or do they let people talk shit about you when you're not around? And that's why it's called loyalty. And it's not given, it's earned. You know, like trust. I trust him. Has he proven trust to you? I trust her. Maybe you trust what you get from her. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're getting money, right? Would you need real love? You know? Would you be able to get past the bullshit and get in with the good shit? Or would you just sit there and keep accepting lesser, you know? Accepting more lies. There's been a lot of lies sold around here tonight. That you can rely. A lot of lies, you know? And that's what people do. Even the guys that are doing the acting, they're lying to you, you know? They're just like, yeah, this is the Hollywood set, and everybody's on here so pretty, and they got so much money, and everything's put together. They're not going to tell you about health scandals or how their situation is fucked up. I think I was watching an episode of Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry was trying to keep it real to someone, and they didn't want to believe that he could be such an addict, right? Not my Matt. What's his name? Matthew died of fucking overdose on Matthew Perry. Not my Matthew Perry. Yeah, your Matthew Perry. Like doing drugs so much so that he fucking drowned himself in his own hot tub. So is it worth it to be in LA, have a house that's paid for, have chicks recognize you on the street, and then your only joy is to get it from ketamine, which will overdose you, and then you can't stop. Now you're doing all these drugs and got no love. You know? All these situations that we've turned ourselves into, you know, oh, what tangle webs we weave, and once we try to deceive, and we deceive ourselves, and it's easier to deceive yourself than to live your truth. And that's what Saints Addiction was all about. I had to live my truth, man. I was just like, okay, you know, I'm not as tall as I'd like to be. I'm not rich, as you can see, right? But I'm rich in life. Rich, what you mean by rich, man? What you mean rich? What you mean rich? Remember that? Your boy? Who's your boy? Hoover Boyka. Your boy Bob Marley. He was saying it to keep it real, you know? What you mean by riches? Rich in life. You know? And rich with love and life, then you're a real rich man. That's the things you can take with you, you know, or leave the planet behind. But most of us, we'd rather live the lie. I just want you to believe that I have a Ferrari. I just want you to believe that I'm on a private jet. I want you to believe that I'm so happy that I can't even see straight. But I just want you to see it instead of me actually to be it. And that's why we're having this conversation this morning. There's just so much straight fuckery. This is number one bullshit. Just a straight fuckery of situations that we create in our own minds and our own lives. See, I knew this thing was just straight fucking around. Motherfucking dog pound. Cut right. Having this conversation. Yeah. But there we are. You know? Right? There we are, hoping that people believe what we tell ourselves instead of proving what we actually are. You know, prove it to me. You know, don't just tell me, show me. And that's why at Mostly Saints, it's It's a show over tell. Oh, you really worked on yourself? Well, show me right now in this moment. Because right now is a moment to practice your sobriety. It's to practice what you say you're going to do and actually do it. I hate this thing. Truly, honestly, truly, deeply. See what it's doing? It's just hitching. It's going to cut straight. It's fucking me up. Don't notice. It's just the edge, but you know, that's us in our lives, just pretending that we're masturbating, that we're not. Cut the cookie and crumble it. Cookies crumble, man. Things change, people rearrange, and you won't see it until you're in a situation that requires you to see it. That's the motherfucker of it, you know? That you realize as soon as they realize that they're lying, you know? It's like, you know, once you've seen somebody's anger side, then you can trust them. More nose running. You know, then you can trust that you're seeing the real them because they expose themselves. You know? But Trump ain't exposing the Epstein files because he's in them. No, there's no truth about his social. He's already cheated on his wife, been accused of raping multiple women. He's already a convicted felon. But we're just like, yeah, we'll keep him. You know, sure, buddy. We'll just keep you. You know, we'll keep you as long as hey, I'll take a friendly lie. La so around here tonight. You know, I'd rather. And I remember how hard he used to crack down on Bill Clinton for getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. And here he is sleeping with everyone. He's got a foreign wife that really doesn't love him. You know, it's all about perception. Have you ever seen The Apprentice? It's a nice little Netflix series about how DJ Trump came into power and the power of manipulation and how these guys, Roy Cohen and them, made him into a national name and a beast, even though he really wasn't free. Man, this is horrible. Look at this cut job. It just keeps fucking up. I literally cut it and it doesn't give a fuck. Sounds like my ex-girlfriend, you know? So it's a lot of this. I've been on here for an hour. I need to concentrate on this and play some music in the background and shit. But thanks for watching. I was all venting my frustration. You can go from kissing to goodbyes, and that's not a lie. And that's why this is the morning motivation. So anything out of this, you already know. Like, share, and subscribe below. Your boy Marky Saint. Peace and love. And Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and fiendish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, you know, the other side of your excuses, the other side of the world. That's where I'll be, and that's where I am. And that's really real, fam. That real light, you know. So if you got real light inside of you, you ain't got to worry. Whatever you do in the dark comes out in the light anyway, and that's what most people are going to be attracted to in the first place. Victu. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.